if you can go ahead and start that recording for us. Our next speaker is going to be Jonathan Donahue. Jonathan is a leadership consultant, and he improves lives through healthy living, healthy leadership, as well as making impactful impacts on a lot of the organizations that he has worked with and led. So if we can have John, actually, is it Jonathan or John?
John, Jonathan, JD, whatever you want to call me, it's fine.
Gotcha. All right, I kind of like JD, so we're going to go with JD.
Stick with JD. It's a little bit more, personal.
Definitely, definitely. Hey, JD, if you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. I appreciate this, putting this page together. I think you just took it from my LinkedIn profile, so I appreciate it. What is, I posted in the chat a copy of my book that I wrote. I published it a year ago, started writing it about 3 years ago, called Faith Driven Investor, Inviting God Guide Your Career Decisions. You can take a PDF version off of it for free and look at it and read it. Hopefully, it's meant to be, it's only about 125 pages, so it's meant to be the kind of book you pick up at the library or at the store or off of Amazon on a Friday, read it over the weekend, and then you're fired up to get things going Monday morning in your job search. So go take that. If you want an ebook version, you can get it off of Amazon. It's listed there as well. Probably the same picture of me is on that Amazon page as well. I've got a lot of things to talk about, and I'm just trying to think about the conversations as we went through, as we look through what we're talking about. And I wanted to offer to the leadership and the volunteers of this group that if there's a topic that you see in my book or another thing that you want to come back, I'm more than happy to come back and help out and provide a discussion about anything related to job search, careers, and even the things you need to think about after you get an offer and how you can make the role that you get incredibly successful and position yourself for long-term success at the company. I also want to applaud you guys. I've lost my job 4 times, and the first time was in 2008, and my career began as an 18-year career at GEG Capital. In 2008, I left to go to work for a private equity firm. It moved me from Connecticut down to Charlotte, where I live today in Davidson, North Carolina, and just these things happen fast. In March of 2008, I got an offer in April. I started in May. I bought a house in June. I moved my wife and 3 daughters at the time down to Charlotte in August, and my role was eliminated in November. So it was a pretty tough time. If you guys were, for those of you who are working in 2008, it was a really rough time. And I want to applaud you guys at AHF for starting this, because when I was losing my job, I knew it was going to take a while. We were probably in the worst financial situation since the Depression of the 1930s. And I reached out to my church and said, can we put together a career ministry together? Because there's about 11 or 12% unemployment in Charlotte. And I thought that while I'm looking for an opportunity, I can help other people that are looking for opportunities, and we can create a network like you guys have. It was much smaller, probably about 20 or 30 people, located in mainly North Charlotte. But it was a great way to support each other while they're looking for a job. And a lot of times what you'll find is, and I encourage you guys to do this, is you apply for a job, but it's not a good fit for you, but it might be a good fit for somebody else. And I encourage you to share roles that you interview for, especially companies that you like and hiring managers that you like. It's a great way to build your network. It's a great way to help other people. And I think it was said before, is you get so much by giving to others. You almost feel selfish because you give so much that you get so much back. So I encourage that. I lost my job again 5 years after 5 years later, and then I took a couple high risk, high reward roles that were backed by venture capital firms or family startups. It didn't work out. In 2017, I just had a big realization that I'm going for money. I'm going for a role that can pay me a lot of money. And I'm not talking about necessarily base salary, but equity investments, stock options, things like that. And it was greedy. I learned that I was full of arrogance and sinful pride, and I was trying to do things that just weren't the right for me to do. And that's kind of what the book is about. It's about what I went through in kind of January 2017 when I was fired by someone I considered to be a friend after being in a role only for 4 months. And it was fortunately through having we talked about accountability groups, people that I consider to be part of my personal board of directors, my accountability group basically said, John, you're heading around the wrong path. You got to change. And thank God for them. It really helped me to wake up and realize what I really wanted to do and really how I wanted to be. And so what I encourage everyone in this job process, I know that part of you may not have any income coming in because you have no severance from your job. You may have a little bit of money coming from unemployment that probably pays for your groceries, and you probably have limited savings. Sometimes you just have to take a job because you need money. But if you've got even if you have to do that, I encourage everyone to take time and think about what are the roles that make you happy. What do you want to do? Do you want to live where you currently are and stay there? Or are you willing to relocate? Are you willing to work in an office, or do you need a job that is remote? What kind of industries do you enjoy? What kind of tasks and activities do you enjoy? What hours do you want to work? Do you want to have flexibility? Do you want a 9 to 5 job or a job that's more like 10 to 12 hours a day for 5 days a week? It's all of these things that you need to think about before you get a job. And then I also encourage you to most of these personality traits types things are free or relatively low cost online. Things like Working Genius, Myers-Briggs, the DISC, Enneagram, all of these things give you insights into what you're really good at, what you really enjoy, where you flourish. One thing I did was I recently took the results of all of these tests that I took and I threw it into Google Gemini and I said, print me an output of the type of person that has these answers and what their strengths are and what their development needs are and things that they need to be aware of. And I thought that was a great way to really have a holistic view of myself. And it also helps in the interviews. You can talk more confidently about what your strengths are. You can talk more confidently about areas that are challenges and what you do to overcome those challenges. And it just gives you a lot more confidence sitting across the table that, hey, I know who I am, and I know what I really enjoy. And this role, it's a perfect fit for me because I excel in these areas, and I really want to contribute to this company because it's the type of company I really want to work for. If you can get a situation like that, you're golden. And I just think if you've got the financial flexibility, take the time to find the right job, the right company, with the right people. And I'm going to end on two notes. When I worked at GE, it was the most admired company in the world. In 1990 to 2008, when I was there, for most of that time, it was comparable to a company like Google, Nvidia, Meta. It was the highest market cap. It was the largest company in the world at that time. And it was, it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty darn good. And then since I left in the last 15 years, I've worked at 9 different companies, which is kind of embarrassing. But the thing is stuff happens. Things sometimes it's beyond your control. Sometimes just how things occur. But one of those companies I worked for was literally the worst rated company according to Glassdoor.com. And it was, it was crazy working there. I mean, really bad. And I say that because when you apply for companies, every city, every region, and also on a national and global basis, but has the best publicly traded company to work for in Charlotte or Boston or Chicago, Pittsburgh. Wherever you live, try to find those companies and find openings there because it tends to be a great environment. And I just want to say that I've worked for a lot of great leaders and I've worked for a lot of really not that great to terrible leaders. And the biggest thing that's going to determine your success is the quality of the person you work for and the team you work with. So spend a lot of time really thinking about those things before you sign on the dotted line and start day one. Okay.
That's awesome,
How's that?
Jonathan. JD, that's awesome.
Hey,
But I feel like I know you as a friend now, man. A lot of great information that you shared with us. Two of the things that really resonated with me, JD, was the fact that, we don't know what the job or the culture is like at the company, and they don't know us, but definitely take that time to figure out what's going on in the organization. And also, most importantly, take that time to take care of yourself. I mean, I know that it's difficult to do. I mean, I can definitely relate with it, but it's always definitely take that time to position yourself, to do what is best for you and your mental health. Because people are hiring healthy people, so, with positive attitudes. But
yes.
thank you so much. Hey, Jimmy, if you can stop the recording now.